The United States has a unique bond with Israel, a relationship steeped in history and reinforced by billions of taxpayer dollars. Since October 2023 alone, American aid to Israel has reached nearly 18 billion, equating to around 49 million each day. But there's more. Beyond direct military aid, the US shoulders additional defense expenses related to Israel's actions, like safeguarding shipping routes affected by instability in the region. Add this up, in just 1 year, American taxpayers have essentially funneled $23 billion to Israel, an eye-popping $62 million per day. Yet despite Israel being the 22nd wealthiest country, the US has never extended similar military support to Palestinians, whose aid is strictly limited to humanitarian needs resulting from the occupation. This situation raises a simple question. Why such an unequal distribution, and why does America continually place Israel's interests first, often to the detriment of its own? This alliance goes beyond mere political strategy. It's a deep-seated commitment that's shaped U.S. foreign policy for decades. Politicians on both sides of the aisle frequently pledge their loyalty to Israel, claiming to have its back no matter what. President Biden in October even declared, "No administration has helped Israel more than I have," echoing a sentiment dating back to the state's founding. In 2020, current President Donald Trump was more blunt in saying, "We don't have to be in the Middle East, other than we want to protect Israel." Israel's influence in Washington stretches across party lines as direct and indirect lobbying ensures that U.S. support is unwavering. The alliance is often framed as a strategic partnership, positioning Israel as the eyes and ears of the U.S. in the region. But while this relationship may secure certain geopolitical interests, many Americans are starting to question the tangible benefits they actually receive. The question becomes more pressing when you consider America's internal struggles. Today, 36 million people in the U.S. live below the poverty line. Homelessness is on a rise, and access to healthcare remains a major issue. For example, an American middle-income family pays around $8,700 annually for health insurance, compared to just $3,000 for a similar Israeli family. Even in life expectancy, Israel ranks 12th globally, while the U.S. sits at 46th. While America is pouring billions into supporting Israel, Americans are increasingly grappling with rising healthcare costs, unemployment, and homelessness. And these are just the visible signs of deeper systematic problems. So as taxpayers, people are starting to ask, why isn't more of this money staying here at home to address these issues? But it's not just about the dollars. It's also about America's moral standing on the world stage. Despite reports of war crimes committed by Israel in Gaza, the U.S. has continued to greenlight weapons sales and has approved over 100 military sales since October 2023 alone. For many, this unwavering support is raising difficult questions about Americans' identity and reputation as a champion of human rights. As Israel's tactics in Gaza become more controversial, Washington's image as a prompter of freedom and democracy worldwide is taking a hit. The deeper issue, however, may be accountability. Israel's continued military action in Gaza have led to untold devastation, yet U.S. leaders remain hesitant to hold Israel accountable. In fact, Prime Minister Netanyahu has openly boasted of his ability to influence U.S. policy. For Israel, this bond has translated into near total impunity for its actions, while America finds itself unable or unwilling to leverage its influence in any meaningful way. Moreover, Israel has repeatedly attempted to push the U.S. towards a more aggressive stance on Iran, often at the expense of regional stability. While the U.S. aims to protect its interests, it increasingly finds itself locked into conflicts that do not align with its long-term goals. Washington's allegiance to Israel has, at times, superseded even its own strategic interests, a trend that some argue is out of balance and unsustainable. As U.S. spending on Israel reaches unprecedented levels, it's essential to consider what this means for Americans at home. Healthcare costs are soaring, veteran homelessness is on the rise, and basic infrastructure projects are underfunded. And despite all of these pressing needs, U.S. politicians continue to prioritize foreign aid to Israel, a country that ranks as one of the wealthiest in the world and benefits from a state-funded healthcare system. For instance, healthcare in Israel consumes only about 7.5% of its GDP, while in the US, healthcare spending accounts for nearly 17% of GDP. Yet Americans pay significantly more out of pocket for healthcare than Israelis. Life expectancy in Israel is about 4 years higher than that in the US, showing a quality of life disparity that many argue could be narrowed by redirecting resources spent on foreign aid. It's clear that the US-Israel alliance has a cost, not only in billions of taxpayer dollars, but also in terms of America's global image and domestic well-being. As more Americans begin to question the value of this alliance, it's worth asking, who truly benefits from this relationship? For Israel, the benefits are enormous. For the United States, however, the answer is less clear. While the alliance with Israel is framed as an essential for U.S. interests, it's harder to pinpoint exactly what benefits the average American sees. In fact, many Americans feel the repercussions in the form of underfunded social programs, high healthcare costs, and an endless cycle of military engagements that seem to offer little return for the people footing the bill. So as public sentiment begins to shift and more voices call for a reassessment of the U.S.-Israeli relationship, the real question remains: is this alliance truly worth it? And if it is, when will America start choosing its own people before choosing Israel? Thank you for listening to this deep dive on the latest issues. If you want to support our journalism and our work, please like, share, and hit that subscribe button.